Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mass on the Grass. I would like to welcome everyone who is able to be here, but I would also like to extend a very special welcome to our first-year students. Welcome to the Heights. Things are very different this year. For starters, I'm making a 5-hour round trip today for this 5-minute speech. But that aside, we have made a tremendous ask of all of you. You arrived here a little bit over a week ago and had to leave your families. There was none of the usual fanfare except getting a cotton swab up your nose, and we've asked you to stay in your rooms for the better part of the last week. You've been asked to do things that are beyond what my worst nightmare would have been as an incoming freshman, but for the most part, you've done it well. We now are in the midst of some hard times. There's a global pandemic that's taken almost 200,000 American lives. But as a result of these hard times, you all will emerge as strong men and women for others. You will show the future generations the way to band together, to defend the weak and the vulnerable, and deliver us from the scourge that has forced us to alter our lives in ways none of us would have deemed imaginable before March. The greatest generation was born between 1901 and 1927. Many of the people born during this time endured some of the worst hardship ever endured in this country. In 1928, a nearly 20-year-long depression struck, forcing millions into dire poverty. In 1941, America was attacked and went to war with two of the most evil regimes in world history. Many young adults our age at that time had no time to be young adults. Some had lived through the roaring 20s and gotten comfortable with the excesses of consumer society and never needed anything and experienced some good times. But then their country asked them to save the world from an existential threat, and they did. They became adults at an age when most people are still adolescents. The threat is different today, but just as grave. Our parents, grandparents, and vulnerable members of our society are living in fear for their lives because of a pandemic that we didn't ask for and we weren't prepared for. It's not fair that you all have to miss parties and the usual rites of passage as a first-year student. It's not fair that me and my fellow classmates didn't get to come back early, wake up at 6 a.m., which we all loved, and move all of you nervous kids into your rooms while calming the nerves of your significantly more nervous parents. It's not fair that our classes are half online and that we all have to wear masks. Believe me, I'm sweating under this thing. But fair or not, that's what our college, our city, our country, and the world is asking of us, because that's what it needs us to do. To borrow from UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson's address that he gave after a long, harrowing battle with the coronavirus disease, we must form a human shield around our elderly and the vulnerable. What does that mean? The good news for us is that we don't have to go to boot camp at Fort Benning and then ship off to the beaches of Normandy. All we have to do is follow the rules. Following the rules will require a degree of adulthood. What is an adult? There's a great book by author Mark Manson, the name of which I can't say at this event because it has a bad word in the title, that goes into great detail describing the difference between an adolescent and an adult. To an adolescent, doing the right thing is transactional. Adolescents do the right thing if it will benefit them in some way. But if the wrong thing benefits them and they can get away with it, then they'll do it. Adults are different. Adults know what right and wrong are in their abstract concepts. They do the right thing because it's right. They abstain from doing the wrong thing because it's wrong, not because they're afraid of being caught. Make no mistake, these terms do not reflect age, but mentality. There are plenty of adults in this world who behave like adolescents. That's what got us into this mess. But you all have the opportunity to be adolescents that behave like adults. At my first Mass on the Grass, my biggest problem was peer pressure. I had just met a group of friends, a loose group of people who hung out with each other because we didn't know anyone else yet. They made fun of my decision to come here, but I came here anyway because my mom wanted me to. I stood in the back alone. I thought I had it bad, but I cannot imagine what you all are going through. All I can say is that what is required of you will make you into a much stronger person than I was, and certainly much more of an adult. Lemoyne's motto is greatness meets goodness. We make great people in the arts, in science, in the humanities, who are also good. They care about people. They take care of their fellow humans. It's one thing to say it, but do we do it? I can say unequivocally that Lemoyne walks the walk. During the months-long quarantine when classes went online, Lemoyne faculty and staff were incredible, reaching out frequently to check in on us. It was a collective effort, spanning from the campus ministry staff to the vice presidents, President Lemura, and everyone in between. Our staff is doing an incredible job in making sure we all have a good year and that we all have the opportunity to be here. Student development, campus ministry, and the leadership team have been working their green and gold tails off to make sure we can all be here. Several of our Jesuit sister schools, as well as colleges around the country, have already gone online. But Lemoyne continues to stand as a tower in a sea of crumbled ruins. As a matter of fact, let's get a quick round of applause for the leadership team, the Student Development Office, and everyone who works for Lemoyne for getting us back to campus. And of course, Tom Andino and the Campus Ministry Office for having this event today, despite the odds. And thanks for letting me talk, too. Lemoyne faculty, staff, and administration has walked the walk. Our provost, Father Marina, who is currently at the quarantine house, told me that if he didn't walk the walk, he shouldn't have his job. Let that sink in. They've done everything they could do. But there's a line from Peter Hans Kolvenbeck, did I pronounce that right? A former Superior General of the Society of Jesus, that is true now more than ever. The real measure of our Jesuit universities lies in who our students become. If we become the students you've seen on the news partying in musty basements during a pandemic and not wearing masks and Lemoyne shuts down, what will the world think of Jesuit universities? What will the world think of greatness meets goodness? They're going to buy that slogan? But if we do what we're supposed to do, and in a country where colleges are opting to go online left and right, Lemoyne holds the line, fights the good fight, and follows the rules, then we will be measured as a group of responsible adults, the second greatest generation, and an inspiration to everyone we know. God bless you all. God bless our faculty and staff. Stay safe and enjoy your time at the Heights the best you can. Thank you.